Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Flores, and I'm running for the District 3 City Council seat. I'm here at Peace of Mind Compton, and I'll be answering some questions that were asked by residents in the Compton News Group. Thank you for participating in this online forum, and a special thanks to Brooke for reaching out to me. There are a lot of questions to get through, so let's get started. First question is, what do you say to those who think you only have a personal goal or interest for serving on the City Council? I think based on our city's history, you have every right to be concerned. We have a huge trust issue because our leaders have not always had our best interest. What I would say about me specifically is that I grew up here, I purchased my home here, and I'm raising my children here. I love our community. It's gritty, it's diverse, and it's just so rich. And at my core is my desire to help people. I think for many of us, we can see the potential here, and we have just been waiting for that spark. Is there something in particular you hope to accomplish while serving? I actually have a lot of goals, and I'm really big into SMART goals, but my number one goal is to give the residents back their voice. You know, there's so many residents who feel defeated and overwhelmed by the lack of leadership. I believe that if we shift the culture in City Hall to a more community-based advocacy role, the residents will also take ownership of the space, and then we can move forward together. Can you explain your duties as a council member? So first and foremost, I'm an advocate for the residents. It's my job to take information, ask the right questions, and make decisions in our best interest. I think it's really important to be a bridge to City Hall. I will always share information, and I have an open door policy. So yes, it also includes voting on ordinances, making sure our police, city manager, and controller are all being held accountable. But fundamentally, it's about advocating for you. Number 4, why is serving important to you, and why District 3? I live in District 3, and I felt like I could have the most impact running for City Council as opposed to running for mayor. We have a really rich culture in our district, and I really enjoy being a part of it. I've always been an active member of the community, but once COVID hit, I really started to invest my time into community service. I started to see this amazing group of people across Compton really advocating for change, and yet City Hall hasn't held up their end of the bargain. I think we can do better, so it's important for me to run in order to show the community that change is possible, that we can listen to and understand and really create sustainable solutions. So there were 2 similar questions, and I wanted to address them together. What issues do you hope to address in District 3? How do you know about those issues? And District 3 is the largest district. How do you plan to address the needs of the entire district? District 3 is the biggest district, but our issues are ones that plague the entire city. We have a safety issue across all of District 3 that needs to be addressed, but it's going to take a multi-level push. My friend's house was broken into, and the police didn't show up until the next day. That's unacceptable. So 1, we need to hold law enforcement accountable. We pay them $20 million to protect us. As a council member, I would create an open and continuing dialogue, weekly meetings, goals, opportunities for residents to, meet and build the relationships with them. 2, we need the residents to take ownership of our city. I know right now it seems like it's useless, but I promise you it's not. Create that block club. Talk to your neighbors. It is proven that crime goes down in areas where residents are active because they have taken ownership of that space. Richland Farms is probably my favorite place in the entire city, and I want to create a Richland Farms historical preservation plan. They are owed sidewalks, and that may look like horse trails similar to Norco. Our Parks and Rec department is non-existent, and yet the city is currently applying for a grant to build a new park. We need to maintain our current parks, and we have a unique opportunity to explore and create a better recreation program. Building a new park right now should not be the priority. And while I know there are other issues that will need to be addressed specific to our district, we really need to look at supporting Celestina and one section at a time. They are doing some amazing work at Woodlawn, and they're creating a space for all of us to enjoy, and we need to look at how we can support each other. Number 6, the relationship between council and residents is pretty bad. What will be your part to mend it? I think a lot of residents, myself included, feel very dismissed by our elected officials. We all live here, at least I hope so, and yet there's a lack of empathy and understanding around our values and priorities. So under the umbrella of accountability and transparency, creating multiple lines of communication is at the top. As mentioned, I have an open door policy. I intend to continue the monthly town halls. You can view the first one on my YouTube channel. I also want to use my website as a project hub where the residents can see updates on specific District 3 projects. I want to create committees around the things that I spoke about in my last question. That's something that can be implemented immediately. And I understand that mending the relationship has to start with me as a council member, because I know what it's like to have concerns that fall on deaf ears. It's going to be about building trust. Our city codes, ordinances, and laws are outdated. What can you do to enforce some of the issues in District 3? Parking, businesses, fireworks. So I think we need to dial this question back a little bit. Yes, we have work to do revolving, policies, procedures, and ordinances. But a lot of our issues stem from lack of enforcement. Everyone needs to take ownership of their little piece of the city. And city officials need to ensure things are being enforced. Here's the caveat. If the code or ordinance is not to the benefit of the residents, we need to reevaluate them. We need local government to work for us. So our first step is to take our immediate issues and find the easiest solutions and do that first. So right now, we need to look at ways COVID has and will impact us and work on some of those policies to ease the burden on residents. Okay, there are complaints about a District 3 representative being silent on issues. How will you address that? I think when people have been involved with politics for a long time, it becomes difficult to enact change. For whatever reason, longtime council members are no longer able to advocate for the community they serve. I'm running a grassroots campaign, and I don't have responsibility to anyone except you, the residents. So being loud and keeping you guys at the forefront is the whole purpose of serving. We need to bring that back. So I want the best for us, and I recently attended a conference on community engagement that works. We're a working city. So if I want to be engaged with you and want your opinions and buy-in, I need to facilitate opportunities that work for you. So that might look like late evening meetings, with childcare, walk and talks at the park, or simply attending events and being present. It goes such a long way in showing you value your constituents. Number 10, what will you do differently to address the issues of District 3? Trash, lights, airport, trucks, traffic. We have to use our resources. There is so much data on what works and what hasn't for other cities, and we need to use that to make decisions. The other thing is creating committees made up of residents who understand the needs of that specific area. I think on the City Hall side, it's making sure that City Hall is running efficiently and effectively. Up to speed and setting expectations will be my first 100 days in office focus. Also, we have to remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. So if we can get a cohesive city council that can work on a strategic plan and really prioritize things like a budget, then all of these issues will start to alleviate. I'm going to synthesize my last 2 questions because they both revolved around my experience. The question was, based on what you stated about having political background, education, and experience, why do you feel like you're qualified to be an elected official? Especially since you mentioned finances, initiatives, and grants on your website. First of all, thank you for visiting my website. I put a lot of time into it, not only on the website, but developing a platform that was attainable and made sense. I want to make it very clear. I am not a politician. I'm a resident first, which makes me qualified. The experience I've had within the community makes us all qualified. I urge you all to get involved with the community, whether it be as a volunteer or simply picking up trash you see in the street. We can all do our part to create change. Experience-wise, I've been with my job for 11 years, and I am currently an operations manager, but I started in data analysis and expense reporting. My expertise is in logistics and leadership, but I want to leave you guys with this. I had the privilege of being the assistant to the president of the company for 4 years. I learned a lot about running a successful company and people. But when I was originally offered the position, I said no. I felt like I didn't have enough experience and I knew nothing about being an assistant. He said, "No, I want you. We trust you with confidential information. You're dedicated and you have a great work ethic. I can teach anyone how to do anything, but I cannot teach someone that." And I've carried that with me when I build my teams. I look for those same qualities. So you can always count on me to advocate for you, to be trustworthy and dedicated to District 3. So thank you guys. Be sure to vote. It's an all mail-in ballot. My name is last on the ballot. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Flores for Council. And always feel free to email or message me. I am always here for you guys. Thank you.